Vicky and I were out again in the Apostle Islands, sailing this time in the company of Dean and Sarah and Hitra. The winds were in the 10-knot range, and we had our number one head sail, 150 Jenny up. We were greatly enjoying our light air sail, first in the North Channel, and then as we turned into the Lighthouse Channel, where the winds freshened up and we were picking up speed. Dean and Sarah were going on to the East Bay at St. Island to go hiking, while we turned into Raspberry Bay, where the Annie B stone rafted up to us for a socially distant visit. The wide Raspberry Bay is an excellent anchorage in southeast, south, and southwest winds, and was therefore a logical overnight anchorage for us for this particular night, given the forecast for southwesterly winds. It is a really favorite anchorage for many of us who sail the Apostles.
So why do you think this is your favorite?
Oh, because a lot of times there are a lot of southerly winds. It's great holding. It's good protection. The other thing is that if the wind shifts, it's really quick to get to the Raspberry Island, and you can get on the other side of the sandbar, and then you have protection from the other direction. Never anchor the Apostles when you don't have a place on the other side of the compass card already checked out on your charts. It's just not a good idea.
Isn't that the truth?
Yeah, it really is the truth.
After about an hour, we broke up the raft and the Annie B stone went off in search of its own spot to set its anchor. It's never a good idea to stay rafted overnight in the Apostles because unexpected changes in wind direction, strength, or sudden thunderstorms may cause you severe problems. In this case, we could already see the telltale signs of thunderstorms on the western horizon. One particular cell was fast coming up along the coast. The wind quickly strengthened and shifted to the northwest, as its center, with a very heavy downpour, seemed to pass by Raspberry and Bear Islands.
Right now we're certainly swinging all over the place from the aftermath of that heavy thunderstorm out there. Right now we're pointed straight out into the open lake. Yeah, it should swing back again to the southwest. At least I hope so.
The squall had been a very impressive sight. We were glad it passed north of us and that the water smoothed out as expected. In the morning, we had a nice sailing breeze from the southwest. Our electric windlass, one of our most useful boat improvement projects we have ever done, smoothly brought our anchor up, and Vicky took Freelance out of the anchorage. We were again bound for Silver Bay on Lake Superior's scenic North Shore. Soon we were flying our full main and staysail. Raspberry Island with its beautiful old lighthouse was passed, and our overnight anchorage in Raspberry Bay fell behind while we settled in on our course across Lake Superior. The wind was fresh and steady. It was a beautiful sailing day on the open lake, but the beam seas were building. We expected 4 feet. We got 5 to 6 feet. They are about 25 nautical miles from the edge of the Apostles to Silver Bay. And we always enjoy this minor day passage from Superior's south shore to its north shore. The winds are more steady out here compared to the islands where the wind shadows cause frequent sail adjustments. Hal, our autopilot, was holding us tight on our course, and we were making steady progress. Unfortunately, our speed was only about 5.5 knots, which is quite slow for Freelance.
Well, we got about 14 knots of wind, so with this sail combination, the main just stays so now that the wind has dropped a little bit. We're really running slow, but we don't have the Yankee on the forestay, and I'm not going to change it at sea, so we're just going to have to go slow and just be sedate and just enjoy it and just have a very comfortable, slow sail today.
Freelance's motion in the beam seas was indeed comfortable, and the wave height gradually diminished as we got closer to Minnesota's North Shore.
The whitecaps are there. The waves are only like 4 feet tall now. So we're coming into close to the marina at Silver Bay.
It had been a pleasant but somewhat rolly passage from the Apostle Islands. Vicky and I were looking forward to again visiting the familiar and popular Silver Bay Marina, where our friends on Hitra and the Annie B had arrived ahead of us. They had left the South Shore much earlier than we did and had stayed well ahead of us during the crossing. Later that day, another strong thunderstorm passed by out on the open lake. We all watched it from the marina's deck and were happy that we didn't have to sail through it. The weather had calmed down by morning. Dean and Sarah on Hitra left Silver Bay well before us. And Vicky, Nelson, and I waved our goodbyes from the pier. After a change of head sails, Vicky again took us out on the open lake. The Minnesota North Shore was quickly lost in fog, which became quite dense, so we turned on the nav lights, hoisted our radar reflector, and slowed down some.
Fog is not fun because you can't see through it, of course, and you have to be on the watch all the time. You have to take watches, which I'm not particularly fond of at this point in time because I want to read my
I absolutely hate fog. And you never know what's moving around there, even with radar and AIS and everything else. It's just really, always a tense situation.
We were very happy when the fog burned off after about an hour and a half, at which time we turned off the nav lights and took down our radar reflector. We don't keep the radar reflector permanently mounted. Instead, we use a spinnaker halyard and hoist it when it's needed. The GPS and autopilot kept us tight on our course, and Vicky could now read her book while I kept the deck watch. There's not only the small boat traffic to watch out for, but also the shipping.
Here we have the John Munson at our stern. And here on our port bow, we have the Algoma Guardian upbound. And we know that it's going to cross in front of us.
We maintained our course and speed and watched it as it crossed less than 2 miles ahead of us. At 729 feet overall, the Algoma Guardian is slightly shorter than the Munson. It was bound for the busy twin ports of Superior Duluth. Soon after the freighter traffic, Freelance was getting close to the Apostle Islands. At 2:30, we were in the approaches, aiming for the lighthouse channel. York Island was quickly passed to starboard and the Raspberry Island lighthouse to port. At Redcliffe Point, at the end of the channel, we cut inside of the buoy and turned south towards Bayfield. It had been a really nice and easy 3-day mini cruise in the western end of Lake Superior. We had plenty of fun sailing, and while they were a nuisance, the thunderstorms, beam seas, and fog were not a major problem for us. Vicky and I were now looking forward to our next summer cruising adventure, which would take us back to the grand wilderness at our Royal National Park.